5 habits that destroy your self-esteem without you even noticing. The slow death of self-esteem. Self-esteem doesn't disappear all at once. It wears down little by little, through small concessions, accumulated silences, choices that seem harmless, but gradually dim your light. It's not a clear break, it's erosion. And the scariest part is that most people don't even notice when they started losing love for themselves, when they look in the mirror and no longer recognize the person staring back, when the heart starts crying for help in the form of exhaustion, comparison, insecurity. This text is a warning and also a hug, because you're not alone in this. Many people live with fragile self-esteem dressed as strength, a life that looks stable on the outside, but is full of inner cracks. And the truth is that some daily habits, seemingly simple ones, are slowly draining your confidence, your joy, your ability to feel enough. They are automatic, learned, normalized behaviors, and it's only when you see them that you understand. And once you understand, you can transform. Here, you'll recognize 5 subtle behaviors that are silently killing your self-esteem. You'll realize that it's maybe not weakness or bad luck or incapability, but rather self-sabotage in disguise. The good news? All these habits can be changed. And when you change, everything around you changes too. This text is not about blaming yourself. It's about freeing yourself. Because you can't build a life with emotional dignity if you abandon yourself every day. Stop normalizing disrespect toward yourself. It's time to start over. From the inside out. Comment below. I choose to treat myself with more respect starting today. Like, share, and subscribe. Because this is a space of rescue, of truth, of return to self. Pretending everything's fine when it's not. You smile, you say everything's okay, you say you're managing, but inside, you're exhausted, frustrated, at your limit. And you keep quiet, because you've learned that showing vulnerability is weakness, that feeling too much is drama. So you keep stacking up unspoken pains, unexpressed desires, swallowed frustrations. The result? A seemingly functional life, but emotionally ill. Pretending everything's okay isn't maturity. It's abandonment. It's placing yourself at the end of the line. It's sending your subconscious the message that your feelings don't matter. And the more you ignore them, the more your self-esteem breaks down. Because self-esteem is born from truth, from your connection to what's authentic. And when you lie to yourself, even subtly, you disconnect from your own essence. There's a difference between strength and hardness. Being strong is continuing, even while feeling. Hardness is continuing without feeling. And that second posture comes at a high price. The body gets sick, the mind wears out. Relationships lose color. You stop recognizing yourself. And self-esteem sinks because you stop listening to yourself. Saying, "I'm not okay" is not falling apart. It's starting again. It's a sign that you take yourself seriously. It's respect for your pain. Healing begins with truth. And those who live in truth rebuild their self-esteem on solid ground, real ground. You don't need to be invincible. You need to be honest with yourself, constantly comparing yourself to others. You wake up, open your phone, and see someone smiling on a tropical beach, someone with the body you wish you had, someone with the relationship you dream of, someone who seems to have won while you're still trying to get up. And there, in the silence of a screen scroll, your self-esteem takes an invisible blow. A quick comparison, but a destructive one. The problem with comparison is that it's never fair. You compare your behind the scenes to someone else's stage. You compare your real pain to someone else's filtered life. And you forget that everyone has their own timing, rhythm, path. Self-esteem is built when you stop measuring your life with the ruler of someone you don't even truly know. When you begin to respect your own journey, with its pauses, mistakes, and real victories. Comparing yourself is forgetting to look at yourself with gratitude. It's blinding yourself to what you already are because you're too busy admiring what others appear to be. And it becomes addictive. You begin to base your worth on the distance between you and others, not on your own truth. Self-esteem isn't about being the best. It's about honoring yourself, respecting yourself, accepting yourself as a work in progress. When you understand that, you start looking at yourself with more kindness, with more patience, with more truth. Comparison paralyzes. Awareness sets you free. Being too hard on yourself, you make a mistake, and you judge yourself. You criticize yourself. You call yourself stupid, weak, incapable. You fail and immediately start blaming yourself for everything, as if every misstep were proof that you'll never succeed, as if every slip-up were unforgivable. You demand a level of perfection from yourself that you wouldn't even expect from someone else. This habit is cruel, because the way you talk to yourself either builds or breaks your self-esteem. Words matter. And when they're full of criticism, judgment, harshness, your inner world shatters in silence. Self-esteem doesn't die all at once. It fades slowly each time you diminish yourself on the inside. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are someone in progress, someone learning, someone trying. Self-compassion isn't letting yourself off the hook. It's giving yourself the chance to try again without the fear of being wounded by your own voice. The way you speak to yourself shapes your world, shapes your posture, your decisions, your relationships. Everything starts with your internal dialogue. And if that dialogue is hostile, life becomes harder than it needs to be. You need to become a safe space for yourself. You need to be a refuge, not a demand. Pleasing everyone, and always putting yourself last. You say yes when you want to say no. You give in to avoid conflict. You smile so you don't seem rude. You help even when you're tired. You attend to others even when you're drained, because you're afraid of displeasing, afraid of being rejected, afraid of seeming selfish. And so you live pleasing everyone but except yourself. This habit seems noble, seems kind, but it's self-betrayal, because you abandon yourself. You put others first so often that you start believing that your rightful place is last. And that's when self-esteem collapses, because it's built on priority, on listening to yourself, on respecting yourself. Every time you say yes to someone while saying no to yourself, you reinforce the idea that what you feel doesn't matter, that your exhaustion can wait, that your needs are less urgent. And over time, that erodes your inner worth. Self-esteem blooms when you understand that taking care of yourself is not selfishness, that choosing yourself is not arrogance, that saying no is not wrong. It's a boundary. And boundaries are love. Love for you. Love that protects, that sustains. You deserve to be the priority in your own life. Denying personal recognition. Someone compliments you and you change the subject. Someone acknowledges your effort and you downplay it. You accomplish something and immediately think it wasn't that big of a deal, that anyone could have done it. You never think it's enough. You never allow yourself to feel proud. And that, little by little, destroys your self-esteem. Rejecting recognition is not humility. It's self-sabotage. It's like telling your subconscious that what you do is never good enough. And that becomes addictive. You become someone who works twice as hard and feels half as much, who achieves a lot and celebrates very little, who gives everything and receives almost nothing. You need to learn to applaud yourself, to recognize your steps no matter how small, to allow yourself to feel proud. Self-esteem is nourished by small victories acknowledged, by compliments received, by the sparkle in the eyes of someone who sees themselves with respect. Denying recognition may seem like a harmless habit, but it pulls you away from yourself. Accepting, embracing, and celebrating who you are is the foundation of all emotional healing, because those who don't recognize themselves end up begging for validation. Rebuilding starts in silence. Now that you've seen these habits, maybe you've recognized more than one, and that's okay. You're not alone. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. And awareness is the first step toward healing. Self-esteem isn't rebuilt with magic formulas. It's reshaped through daily choices, through small actions, through new pacts with yourself. Comment here, I choose to treat myself with more respect starting today. This is more than a sentence. It's a commitment. Like, share, and subscribe. because we only change our lives when we change the way we look at ourselves. Be sweet and strong.